Hey everyone, Keith here. Before we get into this next series of episodes in Asia, I have a few favors to ask. First, if you like what you're hearing on these, please tell a friend. The more the merrier, and feedback is always welcome at any time at keith@kbevphoto.com. Second, sign up for the mailing list at myhomeisspecial.com to get updates that include some personal stuff and links to the photos that I'm taking along the way. In the show notes, I also have pictures of the people that you're listening to. The website gets updated as I have content, and I use the emails to aggregate it all in one place. This next conversation is with my friend Kerbie from Korea. She's got a ton of creative talent, and this episode touches on her home and her family and how they helped her find her way as an artist now living in Chicago. Enjoy. Today we're going to talk with my friend Kerbie here in Chicago. Kerbie, welcome to My Home is Special. And as we always do, I want to start with a quick introduction. So can you introduce yourself for everybody listening?
First of all, thanks for having me. My name is Kerbie. I'm from South Korea, of course, and so I'm a new media dance movement artist. Sometimes I take photos. I guess I'm like a multidisciplinary artist too.
I'm not sure when we first met, but where would you say we know each other from?
I was at the Silver Room taking photos over there. I think it was my first event that I went, like a big breakdancing convention, and I've never been there before, so it was kind of huge for me. I was kind of like super tiny at the time, and then fighting over the space over there for taking photo. It was quite challenging, and then you were just kind of like helping me, like keeping the spot.
I remember that because when we're in the pit at these battles, we're usually like right up front and the crowd is like all over us. But I went back through
Yeah.
my photos to try and see when we met, and I found pictures of you battling as far back as 2018. So I think I actually first saw you when you were dancing. And then, I look over and you're sitting next to me with a camera. And then at some point along the way, I asked if you actually wanted to model. And we got out 6 or 7 months ago now. And we've gone out a couple times since then. So I guess you can add model to your list of artistic pursuits now.
Because I can add more in my the art, like creative practice that I can share with other people now. I don't know, it's just like very cool for me to reconnect with the community in that way, because like it's like the community that I'm building with the modeling world. It's very interesting for me too. It's very fun in the room together. It's so cool, like it's just like a dance community.
So, Kerbie, early on in your life, I know you spent a lot of time at your grandmother's business in a market, and it sounded to me like a lot of the early exposure you got in Seoul came from there, sort of traveling back and forth. Can you say a little bit about what that was like growing up and why that place was one of the special places?
So it's quite the memory that I have with my grandmother place is quite blurred, but I still have the like when your memory is like very blur visually, but you still have the like comforting feelings like whenever you remembering that a specific memory.
Right.
Like that's like kind of like a thing for me. My grandmother used to own this spot at the marketplace called Namdaemun. So if you translate it in English, it's like a big door in south. Because like in Korea, there's like a four doors that used to keep the city safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the back in the day, like historical time. Whenever my parents and then my siblings are like visiting over there, whole block of people, like in the same block of they just come out and then giving out either snacks or something that they're selling, whatever. Because like me and my siblings are kind of looking not really like Korean, but like because we were young and then we kind of like cute, and then they never like seen us like seen people like us, and then we were kind of like a block celebrities over there.
Why would you say that you didn't look like you were Korean or from Korea? Was it from that part of the city, or did you look like you were from the suburbs or the countryside? What makes you say that?
Most of people thought that we are from Southeast Asia. And then out there, that impression of like Southeast Asian, like people like whoever like immigrant of out there, like from Southeast Asia, they are not looking them like in a respectful manner,
Mm-hmm.
or like they always like have this like impression of, oh, they must be poor, so that's why they coming out here in Korea to come up.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that we talked about was that when you were going to and from the market, you got a chance to see the city and see different neighborhoods in the city. What was that like for you growing up? Did you see things you didn't normally see day to day when you were going back and forth to the market?
Yeah, Namdae Moon, like specific neighborhood, it's like it's kind of like divided in like two different sides. Mostly like divided by north and south. So most of the people like who stay in the north side, they're poor. Like they consider us poor. But the gap between of the rich and poor is like really huge in the north side.
Mm-hmm.
But south, whoever stay in the south, most of them are like kind of middle class, or most of them are like considered as like rich people. So my family was like staying in the middle of like north and south, and then my grandma's marketplace was located on the north side of the Seoul. And then the diversity is a very vibrant for me. Literally, get to experience a lot of different things. Because like when you are like in the south side of the Seoul, like to a long time, like you don't really get to. It's kind of like you are in a like a own bubble, like a huge bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to north, like they are a mixture of historical memorial stuff, and then also like kind of like a city type of experience together. You literally just like can't experience people over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And what types of people were you experiencing while you were there that you wouldn't see normally day to day?
on the north side, there is like a neighborhood called Yongsan, and Itaewon was like the part that I discovered during my college year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to know a lot of people out there. I had a friend from Congo over there. I also like got to know a lot of different people like from Nigeria. Yeah, it was like kind of like a really different experience. And also like it was so weird. I went out there for dance event. For some reason, when you're out there, it's like the atmosphere is like different. It's not like same as the south side of Seoul.
That's really cool to hear. Part of what I wanted to do with this project was give people a chance to meet people outside of their bubble. It sounds like you had a lot of that experience growing up as you traveled around the city to just get outside of your normal day to day. Kerbie, is I talked a little bit about you adventuring around the city, and I know some of the adventuring that you did gave you some exposure to people that had body art and tattoos. And at some point, you decided to get one, I think, with your sister. Can you share a little bit more about that and how you chose the spot you wanted to go get your first tattoo in?
My sister has a friend like who was like training on tattooing at that time. It was for free, so I'm like, why not? Hey, I always like wanted to get one, so I just like give it a shot.
I always had this impression that when people are going to get their first tattoo, that it's like a special place and they sort of do their research and they think about it for a long time. And it doesn't sound like that's how you went about this.
Yeah, because I just like always wanted one, and I just like didn't know how to get them because nobody told me. Because like it's quite low key out there, the tattoo business are in Korea. So it was quite like challenging for me. I mean now like everybody just like put it up on their social media
Hmm.
because the social media their way to like promoting their art.
And what was the first tattoo that you got? How did you decide on that one as your first one?
They had the catalog type of, like a book type of thing. They just had a bunch of quotes. So I don't know, one of the quote from like Napoleon was kind of like stood out to me. I don't know, it was like so random. If I have a one person of like ability, I think that was like a thing. Yeah, if I have like a 1% of the ability, I will go for it, or something like that, or potential. If you see the 1% of the potential for something, then you would go for it or something. I don't know,
So
but that was like really dumb.
clearly something really meaningful and memorable for you.
Yeah, but it was like really, I was like really dumb. Like, who am I thinking? Like, why would I put the Napoleon like words on my body? I should have known better. And then couple years ago, I started like, thinking about, oh yeah, I literally put the words on my body. Yeah. And then it's like literally looking at my back. It used to be, and then people just like start staring at that words, and then like start like reading those things. Like I should do something. So I cover up with the tiger, dragon, and like morpho, like blue butterfly, like on the bottom, and then it became like a huge piece on my bag. So
I was going to
yeah,
ask you about that because I've seen it when we've gone out taking photos before. And I remember you saying something to the effect that, all of the art that you have now on your body has a special meaning for you. And I was hoping maybe you could share some of not just the design, but what it is that you're building towards, because you do have a lot of art now covering your body.
it's like a reminder for me whenever, because when you dance, when I dance, I oftentimes looking at my body. Whenever you're looking at your body, it's like becoming like a reminder for me to remember certain things that I don't want to forget, or something could be affirmative stuff like for me to like remind and then wake me up. Sometimes when I'm like in like a dark place, the piece that I have in my bag, it's like a reminder for my home and then my root. So it has like Asian version of like a tiger and the dragon, and then on the bottom part it's like a Brazilian side of me, like a morpho, like blue butterfly. So it's all together. It's like a reminder for me, and that's like kind of like it became a statement. And then one time it was like kind of quite cool. I went to this like the reveal Dane's choreo convention. The person that I just like connect with, he's like a Korean Mexican, and he told me that while we were in like a space, like that's the only thing that he remembered. Because like when I dance and move, like the butterfly on my bag, it's like kind of moved together. So it was
That's
like,
dope.
wow, that's a great observation, or impressions like of my tattoo. Because my parents are like freaking out, like, are you really gonna finish that tattoo? And because like they're kind of over it now, you know.
I think having seen the one on your back, which covers your entire back, and the other ones
Yeah,
that you have, you are well beyond a small Napoleon quote at this point.
yeah, I know, right?
Kerbie, one of the places that I know was special for you was the college dance studio, and I thought maybe we could start by just talking about your journey as a dancer.
So I feel like I've been dancing for ever, like since I was 5. My mom put me on the ballet class. I don't know why she did that, because like I was always like an entertaining person at the family function, and then she just like noticed like me that I like dancing, and then she just put me on the ballet class, and then I quit ballet after me going out there a week or something, because like the tutu suit, it wasn't for me.
So you knew that early that the tutu and the whole ballet thing wasn't for you?
Yeah, the ties and all that, it wasn't like really for me at all. For some reason it was like too uncomfortable. And then I told her, like, I remember I told her I'm not going to the class anymore.
But you kept
And
dancing, right?
yeah, of course. So there's like the big exam to like get into the university in Korea. So I dedicated most of the time to like study that for like since in the middle school to high school. So like I didn't really have much time for like dance or going out for dance during the time. But here and there, I always I make the time. Mostly just watching music video, pop stars and music video, or getting inspirations and then mimicking their movements. And then after that, like huge chunk of stuff, once I got into college, I kind of sort of had a freedom,
Right.
like compared to like those years. And then I start getting into dance more seriously than earlier of my dance career. And then I got into this like dance club in the university that I went. I don't know, ended up that just a kind of like a union of like all different dance club and all different like universities or college in Korea, like literally Korea, like not even just in the Seoul. So and then I got to know these people, and then I took a place of like the person like, who in charge of like taking video, like for documentation and photos. I wasn't like good at it, but I just like started doing it. And then I got to like travel around with the media team, and then get to know a lot of different people. And then eventually I just like got to know a lot of professional dancers like through that
Hmm.
practice, I guess.
When you were traveling around with the media team and taking photos and taking video, were you also still dancing with the groups, or were you just there as a documentarian?
I guess it was like a both. I was like so like performing because I was in the dance club from the school that I was going at the time, and then so we still got to like as a the dance team we gotta like keep our stuff going.
Hmm.
So I was like so like our practice like it's like the same as a professional dancers. One of the leader was actually going to school for like a modern like dance like jazz dance degree type of thing. I guess that's like the benefit that I wasn't a dance club that like who was like professional, not like a the cute sort of things, but like they're like literally just taking this like their career. And then I was the same, you know. Even I went to school for becoming a pharmacist. Like nobody thought that I would like pursue my dream in dance at all. I guess like that's kind of like the fire like started from there. Whenever I go back to the school to my duty as the future pharmacist. I was there and then in a lab, you know, and then literally just doing all the chemistry stuff and all that. Like I had like a lot of different sides of me. And then after that, going back to dance practice for performance with dance club and then you know talking with other like professional dancers about their dance career and all that. Like I guess like dance part just overboard like my other part of me you know becoming a pharmacist.
So it sounds like you had sort of one part of your life pursuing food nutrition and pharmacy during the day, and then I'm guessing at some point you started realizing you got a lot more energy from the dance community that you would see after hours and into the night. I did want to ask, you mentioned you started in ballet. I've sort of seen you do a bunch of different styles. We're also going to have Moon on the podcast, who I think you know from the Chicago dance community. And I've seen Moon dance a ton of different styles. I'm just curious personally, the first time that you saw hip hop dance or krump in particular, did you know that was one of the styles that you really wanted to pursue?
I wasn't really educated with the different styles of dance at the time. I was just like dance. I love dance because I just love dance. I went to this like introduction to hip hop class. It was really cool experience for me. I never dance freestyle dance like freestyling like or freeing my body at the time, you know,
Hmm.
and then you know moving my body with my will like not like a choreography, you know. And it was really cool. And then I asked him if he training somewhere, and that he actually owned the studio, not that studio. And then I went to the studio that he owns, and then there's like a whole different genre of like dance, like dancers out there, and the whole backstory about like how from like brought in Korea was like very interesting. Somebody who from jail and then who kicked out from the whole like states, like he can never visit there again. You know, like he in Korea and brought the DVD, that only DVD, and then only like a few knowledge of prompt, and then he started on studio, and then boom, like he created the whole collective of like a crop. Like he's like a founder of crop in Korea now.
Thanks for sharing a little bit about your dance journey. Like I said, I've seen you do a lot of different styles, and I was always curious how all of those styles came to be a part of your skill set as a dancer. But what was interesting to me is with all the time and energy you were clearly getting from dance, you weren't in school for art at all, and you were planning to do food nutrition and become a pharmacist. Did you start thinking about switching to a career in art early on, or is that something that happened a little bit later?
After I got into like a dance community, like really heavy in Korea, I started thinking, I don't know, it's just like dance like stuff and career. And then with my media team became like a full-time stuff than like me being a full-time student as a the future pharmacist at the food nutrition like department. So I try to find a way to you know, switch my focus at the school, and then the school couldn't offer me other ways because I am colorblind, so it was a kind of like a huge challenge for me. And then I also like try to apply like other school if I can like get into any art department so that I can like pursue my dream as like me being a part of like dance community. It wasn't really a thing for me at the time, so I eventually decided to go to the art school like outside of Korea, and then boom, I landed in Chicago.
Was there a specific moment when you realized that art could be a career for you and not just something that you did after school and after work?
So there was like a huge debate with my parents too, because like they expected me to be on the pharmacist, like which is like a very like stable job, like anywhere, you know.
Right, right.
And then, oh, I wanna pursue my dream or passion in art, and like, what are you gonna do? You know, that was their first impression. And then they was like asking me if I had like a the vision, like a solid vision of me being artist, and then living off of it. And they say go for it. And then I didn't really have any idea, like only experience that I had, like close experience that I had, just like bring around or carrying around my camera and then like documenting video and photo at the
Hmm.
dance event. That's it. That's like the only technology that I knew, the career that I could like pursue with along with the dance.
And so as you're thinking about being a dancer and documenting film and video and photo and doing other sort of graphic arts, you saw it all come together in something that could actually be a business and a career path, right?
At the time, like interactive projection style with the performance, and it was a kind of like a new, like really new thing at the time. And then all of a sudden, like I just like opened up the YouTube, and then that's the first thing that I saw at the like on the Beyonce like Super Bowl like 2012. The whole show was inspiring. And then I just like, showed it to my mom, and then like I still remember I showed it to my mom and my phone on YouTube, and then like this is what I want to do, mom. And then my mom was like, I still don't understand what you want to do, but like if that's what you want to do, like go for it. It was kind of funny. I would say first year of the school, like every class that you go, like you introduce yourself, and then one of the teacher asked me, what's your inspirations or what made you to come to SAIC? I was like, yeah, Beyonce was my inspiration, and then her like Super Bowl like performance by inspiration. So that kind of like made me to come to the school, and then like everybody just laughed. Like Beyonce is like everybody's inspiration, right? And then like yeah, that's so funny. But I was so serious at the
That's really
time.
cool. I just want to ask one last thing here. As you are now part of the community here in Chicago and the Midwest in the US and the art community more broadly, I would say at this point. When you go back home, do you still connect with the artist community back home in Korea?
Yeah, I still keep in touch with a lot of like dancers and my dance friends, or like the people that I met. It's very weird because like we all started as like a kid, like love dancing, and then sometimes we like kind of gather like collect money to book the studio, and then we kind of like have this like overnight practice together till 4 a.m. Now they're like having their professional class to like teach people, and then like literally they get to like travel around the world. That's very inspiring for me, and they're very motivated and then motivating to me. I kind of like feel like really proud of them because like we never thought we're gonna be that big.
Kerbie, I want to thank you for sharing a little bit about your home and your journey today. It was really fascinating to hear after knowing you for all these years. So I appreciate you taking time this morning to talk with me about it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of My Home is Special. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you get future episodes automatically. Go to myhomeisspecial.com for the occasional email update too. That's where links to photo galleries and a few other surprises will live. Be sure to follow KBev Photo on Instagram for behind-the-scenes footage during our journey, and it'll be in the stories. If you just want the photos, go to kbevphoto.com. There's a lot else on there to explore. For now, this is Keith, aka KBev, signing off. Peace.